Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the European Cross-Up webinar. And we have seen quite a big night. We can quickly just go on and move into the equities. You've seen a big sweep all the way up to the upside, up to just above 11,750 in the NASDAQ, and then a yank down. We'd actually dipped down into this area, and then we saw this market come apart after Trump was basically saying, stop the election, let him win. And then we've gone and, retraced. We're into a key area right here, just right above about this 11,560. And you can see where the market's having a little bit of a tough time there. Bear with me. So you can see this little pause right in here, and you can see the market struggling a bit. In here, you can see the little mini gravestone doji, and from there, we've already pulled away from that 30 handles from this level here. Looking here at the S&P, you can see here we've got a hammer right there, hammer bottom, basically almost like the same thing here. If you look in this NASDAQ here, you can see where we broke that trend line, opened the door for him to move higher and take off. We did. And pretty good pullback here in the cable. Look here on the daily chart. Actually have a bearish dark cloud cover. If we encompass the entire body and close low here, then we'll have a complete engulfing pattern. But right now it's a dark cloud cover, certainly bearish. And we'll take a look at the Aussie. And same thing here with the Aussie, something similar too, also a bit of a dark cloud cover for now. We see how that plays out. Taking a look at where we stand here on the economic data. See here that we did go on and get releases from our services PMI out of Spain, which came in at 41.4, a little bit stronger. French services PMI came in right in line at 46.5, with German services PMI at 49.5, just a little bit stronger. And then at this top of the hour we came on, we got market services Eurozone final PMI 46.9, just a hair bit stronger. We are looking for UK services PMI at the bottom of the hour, looking for 52.3. As we roll into the States, we will have ADP at 8:15 Eastern, and then we'll have Canadian trade balance and export, and then market composite final PMI at 9:45 Eastern, along with ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. Eastern. Take a look at the news, and then we'll move into the analysis. The Australian dollar fell 0.7 on Wednesday, and its New Zealand counterpart also faltered in jittery trading, and early U.S. election results showed the race was still too close to call. Risk assets had rallied recent days on a large fiscal stimulus, with markets wagering on the possibility of a Democratic sweep by Joe Biden. The Aussie's coming off at any hint of a Trump win, says Michael Judge. And the Aussie dollar fell to 71.07 after hitting a 3-week high of 72.23. Investors were hedging against the risk of a contested election, which looks like what we're getting, and a potentially drawn-out process as mail-in ballots were counted. Analysts at Morgan Stanley said the results are too close to call at 11 p.m. or would be 12 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. And with that, we'll go on and look into the dollar. The dollar jumps as U.S. election race tightens and the peso and yuan wilt. The dollar jumped and riskier currencies wilted on Wednesday as early results in the presidential election showed a tight race, surprising currency investors who had been betting on a decisive victory for Democrat Joe Biden. Trump in the battleground states of Florida, Ohio, and Texas dashing market hopes for a clear result. Investors waited to see whether Trump would retain the Rust Belt states of Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania that sent him to the White House. The dollar was up 1% as European markets opened, while the offshore traded yuan and Aussie dollar, Norwegian crown, which have for years borne the brunt of Trump's protectionism, weakened. One of the few things clear so far is that we're not going to see a Democratic landslide as polls have suggested, and that was wrong-footed at an FX market which was positioned for some clarity. The dollar had fallen to a one-week low on Tuesday on expectations of a win for Biden. We saw the dollar come under pressure going into the election, and we saw an unwind of that. With the Biden victory and also boosting prospects for a large U.S. fiscal package, it was also expected to lessen the trade with tensions, which had been supported by by the greenback. The euro fell to 16.37 to its lowest in more than 3 months, and Trump falsely claimed that he had won the election with millions of votes still uncounted. His rival Biden said he was confident of winning a contest that will be resolved with a handful of states' complete voting counting over the next 3 to 4 days. With that, we're going to move into the analysis. Okay, taking a look at the euro dollar. We did see that this pretty good pullback, and it's hard to say as we look out going forward what kind of volatility we'll be looking into, but at least for now, we're currently at 1671. The key support right now is going to be here at 1638. And on the resistance side, we will be looking at right there, 1719. And let's go and move on to the cable. And you can see here right now, at least currently for right now, we've got a dark cloud cover here with the cable. Support right now is going to be right there at that body, which actually they went and tagged it. And that body is right there at 2910. And resistance is going to be the body close right there from the prior day, 3063. And let's go and move into the Aussie dollar. And just like the cable, we're looking at a bearish dark cloud cover here. Support looks like we found it in the same area too, with this body open, which is going to be 70.49, and the resistance will be the body close. 70.49. With the resistance at this close, which is 71.64. Onto the Kiwi, and right there with the Kiwi, that's an actual full-on bearish engulfing cloud. So right now the resistance, because of this complete one, it'd have to be a complete turnaround. So we'll go with resistance right here, this body, which is also confluence with this wick, and that's going to be at 66.70, which we had already. And support, if we're able to go in and drop lower, is going to be right there at the level of 66.01. Going to move in now to the dollar CAD. And we can see here we've got a complete bullish engulfing bar right here, looking pretty stout. So resistance is going to be the two lower wicks here, and that would be 32.77. And support on here is going to be this wick right there, which would be 31.36. And let's go and move into the dollar peso. And boy, have we saw a huge move. Look at this. This has been absolutely unbelievable. Resistance is going to be this bar right there, which would be 21.73. With support right there, the wick, 21.37. And JPY. And pretty good move here in the dollar yen. And you can see resistance is going to be right there at 542. Don't know if we'll make it all the way back up there again, but that would be resistance, 542. And support right here on this bar, which is 452. Moving into the cash dollar index. Pretty good move. Look at this wick. Wow. I mean, that is some crazy wide wick. Resistance is going to be right there on this body, which is going to be 94.12. With support coming in right there with this body, which is 93.35. And Irina says, good morning. Good morning, Irina. Let's go and move into the Kiwi yen. And today's going to be just a very tough day because of you can see the wide ranges we've had. It's hard to follow anything. I mean, as far as getting a sense of direction. So looking here at the Kiwi yen, we're just going to go with the levels right here, this key level, which is 70.12, and support would be right here, this lower body right there, which is 69.35. So 69.35 and 70.12. And let's go and move into the euro pound. Support right here, this body coming across here, because you want to see those stops taken out. They did. So support, if we were to dip back, would critical be right there, 89.56. With resistance, go with the levels, 90.56. Don't know if they'll make it up there, but they'll go with the level, which we've got. Go with the euro on. So on the euro odd, pretty good little rebound in here. Resistance is going to be this lower body right there, which would be 65.39. And support right there, just below. I mean, they did take out the stops, but support coming back would be right there, 63.38. And let's go to the Euro Kiwi. Resistance here on the Euro Kiwi, right here, this key level, and that's 76.34. And support, you can see that right there coming across here, 74.43. And let's move into the ASEAN. We've seen a pretty good burst here and then a pretty good reversal. So resistance at this point is going to be right there. That body, which would be 74.98. And support right there, all these little wicks coming across, which is 74.18. And let's go and move into the guppy. So a nice little push up in here, and then you can see here a little bit lower, we'd have a dark cloud cover, but the resistance is going to be this upper body right there, 37.47. And support will be right there, that level, 35.26. And we already had that. And then lastly, let's finish up with the sturdy nod. And support right there coming into this level, which would be 81.57. With resistance coming in right there at that top of this wick, or this wick right there, which is going to be 83.44. And that's going to complete the bias chart here. Let's go on and move this back. Here's the other stocks. I mean, I'm not giving too much weight on these. I mean, I actually have them on the daily. So if you look at Apple, it's 110.44. Have to go to the intraday to see where it is right now. So it's actually it's gapped up to 113.77. So nice gap up in there. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Gap up here, 212. Want to probably move those to 2 hour, get a better context. Amazon. Same thing, a gap up here. Google. Not seeing anything. NVIDIA. Gap up here to 534. And also Facebook, gap up to 272. Netflix has also jumped up to 494. And then Tesla, nothing there that I'm seeing here right now. It actually is trading at 427, but no gaps. But this is interesting. I mean, when we go back, as I mentioned, we'll take a look at the equities. And you can see here, we're still at that key junction right here that I've talked about. You see right there on the way down, you see how we have this body here, and then we're looking at the 30-minute. Here's on a 1 minute chart, shorter time frame. Here it is on the 5 minute, but you can see how we broke that 2 hour and we came back to test it right here, the trend line, and we rebounded off nicely off of that. So we're holding up fairly well. And that's about it on this. I mean, same thing here. We've got a hammer bottom here, but once again, with Trump causing a lot of chaos. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes and plays itself out. And you want to wait till later on in the day. Gold is over here at 1893. It has pared back, but still holding okay. Not too bad. Probably a little bit weaker because equities are doing so well. Other than that, that's it. I mean, it's obviously a good, short webinar day because, like I said, I think we're on a pause right now. We have to see how the market adjusts today, but we have the resistance and support levels here, and I'll post a bias chart, and we'll see you in the chat room. And thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar.